If you're a dentist or orthodontist looking to get at least 6 to 12 new high-value patients every single month, such as braces, Invisalign, or any other clear aligner brand, smile makeovers, or dental implants, single and full arch cases, this video is for you. And no, I'm not guaranteeing you 40 in the next 30 days. I'm not here to hype you up. I'll spare you the yes. I will, however, show you how to leverage AI and a highly trained sales team to accomplish, on average, at least 6 to 12 new patients every single month without purely relying on paid ads. I know you're skeptical, and I would be too. The reality is you're bombarded with ads every single day. At least that's how I know it was for me when I was helping my dad market his practice. We would see all of these same ads guaranteeing you 50 new full arch cases or 50 new braces cases in 14 days, or you don't pay. We all know it's a bunch of hype, and unfortunately, at least 80% of you have taken the bait and been burned by one of these so-called marketing agencies. So that's why I'm making this video, so you don't have to hop on some high-pressure sales call. I will literally lay out exactly how our program works so that we don't have to waste each other's time. You can determine if this is going to make sense for you, and if so, then you'll hop on a call with me personally, not anyone from my team. So let's talk about the old way of getting patients and why agency owners using this model are setting you up for failure. Like many dentists, Dr. Dwayne Bodie came to us after being frustrated with his current agency. They were getting him a ton of leads, but the leads were not quality. They weren't showing up. And when they did show up, they were just looking for something free and could not even afford treatment anyway. Dr. Bodie was courageous. He didn't give up on this whole advertising process simply because one advertising agency failed him. So he was brave and hired us alongside of this other agency to test to see if we can get better results. Quickly, he ended up letting them go.
I will, but right now I have to clean up. So I'm using this other company I haven't been too happy with because you guys I've had great results with Lucky.
So the first problem we found when we dove into his account was the ad. This is where it all starts. And the old way of getting patients was putting up some generic, bland, templated ad, image ad, using some stock photos. That often creates a bunch of low quality leads. Why? Because people buy from people. There's no branding being done with a stock photo. There's no connection being made. People want to buy from people. So the new way that we found that converts at least 50% better is using viral video ads. An ad that is 60 seconds or less, where someone is on camera, they can connect face to face, they see what you're offering, and they click and they take the next step. Here's a quick example of a dental implant ad I recorded on behalf of one of our doctors. Back by missing teeth, not able to eat the foods you love or chew comfortably, or maybe you're just tired of hiding your smile. Well, dental implants can be a life-changing solution that can give you back your confidence, full chewability, and the smile you deserve. That's why our office is doing something absolutely crazy to help out the people of our city. We're giving away free VIP consultations. As you can see, it has all the popular trends you would see on IG Reels, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, and Stories. And the cool thing is I record these on your behalf, so you don't even have to get on camera. We do have some doctors that would prefer to use their face, so I send them the script, they record it, send it back to me, my editing team. We'll add all of the fancy music, the B-roll, the quotes, all of that will be done for you. Another problem we found with Dr. Bodie's previous campaign and previous agency was, well, the ad worked, it brought in leads for a month, but then it just stopped working. I'm sure you can relate if you've ever ran paid advertising. If you show one ad to your little city, no matter how big or small it is, at some point, people are going to see the ad over and over again, and they become blind to the ad. This is called banner blindness. So the way you combat that is to have a variety of new ads constantly going out every single week, every single month. Problem is with most of these agencies, either one, they're lazy, two, they don't have the proper staff to monitor your ads every single day, or three, they're just too big and they're focused on scaling and bringing on 20, 30 new dentists every month, and then they fail to give you the attention you deserve. That's why we only bring on 5 new patients every single month. We would rather not sacrifice the quality of service in order to make more money. So for us, I have a dedicated media buying team that's been with me 5 years. They are on your account every single day, making sure your cost per lead is right within the KPI, that you're not wasting your advertising dollars, and that we're constantly creating new ads on your behalf. And that way, it continues to work all year long, not just a couple weeks or a couple months. So let's talk about qualifying the lead. How do you get quality leads? If you do this the old way, which most agencies are doing, you're going to get a bunch of no-shows, confusion, frustrated front office staff. You know the drill. If you do it the right way, you'll be able to successfully acquire new patients every single month. And number one starts with expectations, understanding the game that you are playing. And most ad agencies, because they want to sell you and sign you up, they lie to you. But the reality is, the truth is, only 2 to 8 to 10% max of all of the leads you generate will actually be in a buying phase. If you think about it, there's different phases of decision-making process, right? Some people are ready to buy today. The other 90% will buy from you maybe next week, next month, or even next year. So you got to understand that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. And yes, sometimes you may blow it up right in the beginning and get a ton of new patients, but on average, when you go into an advertising campaign, you need to have the right expectation. And I'm here to tell you the truth. Maybe that doesn't sound sexy, but it is the truth. Only 2 to 10% are ready to buy. The other 90% need to be nurtured, meaning you need to be sending them social proof, connecting them to your website, building your brand, giving them some value. The old way of doing this was maybe the agency generated some leads, sent them to some automations. They get a couple automated text messages. Maybe your front office staff calls them a couple times. They don't answer, and then you ignore them for the eternity, right? The new way of doing this is AI. We use AI. We use our eternal nurture sequence that will follow up with them for 6 months, a year down the road. It's going to be send them your social proof, any testimonial videos that you have. We're going to have our AI send that to them. It's going to send them your website. It's going to start building brands. It's going to send them content, all without your front office staff having to do anything. So as you can see, it's important to have a proper nurture sequence that follows up with the 90% of the leads so that 2 months, 3 months, 6 months down the road, all of those leads you generated 6 months ago are now turning into patients. And that's the beautiful part of this system, is that if you're patient, you'll get new patients. The other old way that agencies work still today is sending you hundreds of leads. And nobody wants leads. Your front office staff doesn't want leads. They already have a full-time job. So me sending you 100 leads at least every single month is going to overwhelm your staff. So what happens is your advertising campaign becomes a bucket with a bunch of holes in the bottom, and all of your leads just trickle out the bottom and nobody wins. Did you know that if you fail to respond to your lead within the first 5 minutes, your chances of converting them drop by 80%? You can Google up the statistic right now. But if you do successfully connect with them in the first 5 minutes, your chances of converting go up by 400%. Now, the best practices we found usually respond within the hour, but usually on average, your front office staff is responding maybe later that day, usually within a 24-hour time window. And that may sound like a lot for your front office staff to handle. That's because it is. And to be honest, they shouldn't be doing it because this is a full-time sales job. And I bet that your front office staff is probably not sales trained. They're not drilling objections every day. They're not practicing on how to properly use their tonality or use negotiation skills to take these patients from cold to sold. You need to realize that this is a sales process. This is a sales job. And without viewing it in that context, you're doomed to failure. So here's how we leverage AI in the sales team to solve that problem. Our conversational AI is going to respond within 5 minutes every single time. Okay, the AI does not take breaks. It doesn't take holidays. For example, let's say it's Friday night, 7 o'clock. Nobody's working on staff, right? You get a lead that comes in, they're interested in dental implants. Maybe it's a full arch case, right? But nobody's there to respond. Nobody's there to answer their questions, and they move on, and you lost that lead. But with using our dental AI software, conversational AI will handle that lead. It will talk to them in a very empathetic tone, so it feels like a real human. It's also going to qualify them. It'll ask them financial questions like, hey, we have financing available. Is this something you're interested in? Great. What's a rough idea of your credit score? Okay, fantastic. Here are 2 times for you to come in for your free consultation. Which one works best for you? And then it'll actually get them scheduled. So our dental AI literally acts as an extension of your front office team and can also do the majority of the lead follow-up. This simply ensures that your leads are not slipping through the cracks. Everybody's getting followed up with a timely manner. So the AI is going to increase your scheduled appointments. But honestly, do you want more scheduled appointments on your calendar? Because what happens is you get a lot of these scheduled appointments, but they're still not qualified. So if you just leave it up to the AI, then they're going to show up and maybe they weren't the best fit, and maybe they don't even show up because they didn't talk to a human yet. So this is where the sales team comes in. You need to create that human connection. You need to get someone on the phone because nothing replaces talking to a real person on the phone, especially in today's day and age where skepticism and distrust is super high, your prospective patient needs to talk to somebody. So what happens is our sales team immediately calls to qualify that appointment. Hey, saw you booked for 10 o'clock a.m. on Tuesday. Just wanted to confirm your appointment. Great. What type of treatment are you looking for? How many missing teeth do you have? Awesome. Okay. How long have you been looking to do something about this? Great. So we're identifying the pain points, and we're going to sell them the vacation. How's life going to be different once you transform and you transform your smile? I can give you your confidence back. Oh, amazing. Why is now a good time to make this happen? So we treat this as a sales call, not just some boring, bland, okay, I'm just confirming your appointment. See you then. And that's why most front office staff fail. They don't treat it as a sales call. They don't take it seriously. Our sales team has over 10 years of experience in the dental field, so they know how to speak the language. They know the lingo, but they're also trained on sales, negotiations, tonality. We constantly train together as a team. Hey, how do we better overcome this objection that you're getting on a consistent basis? And this is why our sales team crushes it. If you ever come across an agency and they claim to have a call center, do yourself a favor. Make sure they're in the US, one. Make sure that they're not overseas. And make sure they have dental experience, the industry knowledge. And make sure, ask them how they train their team. Because all of those things matter. Anybody can have a call center, but how well do they perform? So once our sales team qualifies that lead and we make sure that they have a good enough credit score, they have an occupant currently working, we ask them how they plan on paying for treatments, then we grab the credit card. Okay, this is one of the most important dynamics of making sure these people are going to show up is we make sure that we grab that card. We say, hey, there's a $50 no-show fee if you don't show up. If you do show up, you don't get charged anything. What's a good card to use? Boom, we get that card. Your show rate is skyrocketing and people that are showing up are actually serious. The next part of the sales team is really the follow-up game. Most front office team will call a couple times and then they'll disqualify their lead as they're just not a good lead. Our team is pretty aggressive. We're calling them at least 10 times within the 90 days. More like 10 to 14 times because we know they're busy and people appreciate that. They know they want to transform their smile, but they've been putting it off and they have other things in their life that are calling for their attention, but deep down inside, they really want to make this happen so that they appreciate our follow-up. And that's exactly how we see it. And that's what causes us to excel as a sales team is to get all of those other leads that didn't book an appointment. Every week, we're following up with them, calling them. That's how we really build momentum. Lastly, our sales team is successful because we pay them well. We pay them a base salary plus commission. So now they're incentivized to get people qualified and get people to show up on your behalf. We're not cheaping out here. We invest highly in our team, both monetarily and training wise. So hopefully you're beginning to see why this new model is so successful for us. So hopefully by now you're beginning to see why now our system is so successful. To recap, 1, we're going to run custom creative viral video ads for you that generates interest. 2, we're going to use conversational AI to follow up with those leads. We're going to qualify them with our sales team, get them to show up, and you're going to sign them up. But before we ever get into running a paid ad campaign for you, we first start with the low-hanging fruit, which is our signature reactivation campaign. We take your old database of old leads or old patients that have come into your practice that haven't taken action, or maybe your current patients as well. We run our finely tuned marketing message over 1 week. We blast that out to your existing list, and we're able to get at least 5, 10, sometimes 20 new patients just doing that. And then you can reinvest that money you made in the first week into more of your marketing. So if all of this sounds interesting, just click the button below. That'll open up the calendar. You'll be able to choose a time that works best for you. I'll then send you a text and an email with the Zoom link, and then someone from my team's going to reach out to you because we practice what we preach here. They're going to reach out to you, make sure you're a real human being and a dentist or an orthodontist that we can actually help, and then they'll confirm that appointment. Please don't book a time unless you can truly commit to showing up. I despise no-shows just as much as you do, so please don't be that person. Otherwise, you'll continue to attract those types of patients into your own practice. After all, you reap what you sow. Lastly, I do only take on 5 new practices every month. This isn't some scarcity tactic. I'm just committed to preserving the quality of our service, not willing to way too many practices where we sacrifice quality. So if all that sounds fair, book a call and I'll talk to you soon.